Hey, ambitious dentist, welcome to Start Your Dental Practice, the show for existing and aspiring dentists to take your dental practice to the highest possible level. I'm your host, Jonathan Van Horn, CPA and ABV, founder of DentistMetrics.com. In every episode, we aim to demystify the how to start a dental practice problem by bringing on world-class dentists, influencers, and consultants in the dental industry to pick their brain about how to get past the barriers involved from going from no practice to being a practice owner to owning your own successful dental practice. When it comes to new marketing trends, they can be very expensive and a huge risk, especially when it comes to online marketing. Now, today's guest is not about the hype. She's about proven results. Now, you may be familiar with this guest because she's actually been a guest on the podcast before, somewhere around episode 30 or something like that. Today's guest is Dr. Anissa Holmes, and she's the founder of Delivering Wow, as well as the host of the Delivering Wow podcast. She's owner of one of the most successful dental practices in Jamaica, and Dr. Holmes has had some incredible results using Facebook to grow her practice, and she reveals all her top strategies in the Facebook Mastery course for dentists. She joins us on the show today to share some of her extremely valuable Facebook insight. Now, this is all new content. This is not a repeat of the last episode. She's came on. She's had she's launched a course, and she's actually had a lot more success in Facebook. And she's going to come on to talk to us today about some of the changes in Facebook as well as what's working now. So here's a few things you're going to learn about today. You're going to learn about the advantage that Facebook offers that you do not get with other online marketing tools. One minor detail within Facebook ads that greatly impacts engagement, a common mistake made when boosting Facebook posts that keeps you from growing your audience, and I see a ton of practices making this problem. The 3 types of Facebook campaigns that will give you the best results, and one of these is new to Facebook and you'll want to start using it immediately. How online advertising is different for a dental practice than for online marketers, and why you should ignore some of the advice that online marketers give. Why you'll get far better results managing your business Facebook page internally versus outsourcing it to another company. The major advantage to implementing Facebook into your marketing strategy now, and what you'll miss out on if you put it off. A Facebook strategy course that you can take advantage of at a very special rate. So at the end of this episode, you'll find out where you can get a bonus that highlights some of the top Facebook strategies. You'll also be given access to an incredibly valuable resource at a better price than I've been able to find anywhere on the internet. So stay tuned all the way through the interview to get access to that. Now here's my interview with Dr. Anissa Holmes. Hello, ambitious dentists. Today I have with us again Dr. Anissa Holmes. Dr. Holmes is the founder of the Delivering Wow podcast. She is an owner of one of the most successful dental practices in Jamaica, which is, as everyone knows, and we get to be jealous of Dr. Holmes and where she gets to live. And the last time we actually interviewed her, you could actually hear birds chirping outside, and it was in the middle of winter where we were. It was cold, it was nasty outside, and it sounded like she was talking to us on a cruise liner. But she is also the creator of the Delivering Wow Facebook course. So Dr. Holmes has a lot of success in an area where some people are, I don't want to say suspicious, but they're a little bit hesitant to believe that you can have success in the social media world in today's environment. And I believe a lot of that comes from people just not knowing how to do it correctly. Dr. Holmes, I believe, has like the number 1 or number 2 most liked Facebook page of any dental practice, of any service organization in the world. And she has been able to create incredible results from this Facebook page. So she knows how to make this social media stuff work. And she's come on today to talk to us a little bit about how to make that work, as well as to talk about how she has created a course that can kind of lift the veil, lift the mystery behind having success in the Facebook world, which is something a lot of people, again, I don't think that they give it enough credit because they don't really know how to do it the right way. So Dr. Holmes has had a lot of success with it, and now she's teaching others how to do it. And I'll tell you this much, guys, whenever you start teaching people how to do things, your experience level becomes exponential because you get so many other people talking to you about how they're doing things and how they're getting success. And so her level of expertise, even though she was already super successful in her own rights, by teaching it, her course is going to be something that is going to just blow you away. So Dr. Holmes, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks so much for having me, Jonathan. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, fantastic. So Dr. Holmes, last time we talked a lot about building up a culture in your dental practice. And it was one of my favorite episodes where, and if you're listening now and you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. I think it was episode 30 or something like that. And we talked about, building a culture in your dental practice and using that as a tool to be able to kind of propel yourself forward and take your team along with you in a certain way. Tie that into me with how we use that in Facebook.
Right, absolutely. So on the last episode, we were speaking a lot about how you can grow your audience and how you can create engagement. And that episode was all about how you can share your story. And to me, Facebook is an amazing way to share the story of your practice. And what I mean by that is that you're able to create videos of patients who are giving testimonials. You're able to have your team talk about why they love working in your practice. You can have pictures of amazing dental work that you're doing. You can share experiences of you out building the community. And to me, there's really no other form of media, perhaps maybe your website, but other than your website, where you can really share your story like Facebook. And what I love about Facebook is that it's very interactive. So unlike a website where you're really putting out information for people, Facebook is about a community. It's about engagement. And that's why it's so valuable for dental practices to really get their messages out to those who are looking for a dentist. And I can say in my particular practice, Facebook has been a huge way for us to connect with people who actually did not even have a dentist and who were very fearful. And so because we talk about our culture, and in our practice, we talk a lot about, really making it a wow experience, giving complimentary hand massages and really giving people an office tour and taking them through this amazing process, we're able to connect with people. And they say, you know what, I know I have to have dental work done, and perhaps this is the right place for me. They connect emotionally with you and they feel that they know you. And to me, that's why Facebook is so powerful. Now, taking it to where we are on this particular episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about how you can get that message out to people to actually become new patients, how you can turn your Facebook advertising dollars into something that's super profitable, getting you an extreme return on investment, and again, just getting a ton of new patients.
So to me, again, like that's what I think so many people miss about the Facebook. They feel like Facebook is something that is just a marketing message, like, hey, come see us. And why didn't people come see us? It's because they missed that initial thought process of being, it is not just a radio ad that's out there and saying, hey, come see us because we're fantastic dentists. It's about connecting with an audience and creating an actual connection with that potential patient so that they can be a part of your community, like you said. And I think that's so essential. And that's something that I just don't think people get enough. So, okay, so walk us through how to make that. So we've talked about culture in the last episode. People, you go listen to that one about how you create a vision for the practice, how you create a culture, how you get your team on board with it. But talk to us a little bit about how you make that leap.
Right, absolutely. So what I teach dentists is, first, when you're setting up Facebook for your practice, you want to make sure that you're setting it up correctly. And so there are tools that you can use, such as preferences, where you can select your ideal audience who you want to actually see your post. So you can have people see your posts who are in your radius of your practice. You can see people, have people see your posts who have interest in other Facebook pages that are near to your practice. There are lots of ways that you can really be very detailed in that. And from there, what we do is we talk about how you can create engagement. And engagement is really important because once you start running ads for Facebook, for every 1% of engagement that you have, you actually have a return of 5% less ad costs. So it's actually going to cost you a lot less once your posts start to become engaging. And engaging is not just, the image that you have, it's also about the copy that you're using, creating calls to action. That's really important. And not using stock images. My students that we have in my Facebook course, we actually assess their Facebook pages before they begin the course. And what we find is that a lot of dentists use a ton of stock images. They're not using images for their practices. And as a result of it, they're not getting that engagement. And a lot of dentists that are saying, boy, Facebook really doesn't work. When we look at their Facebook pages, we understand why it's not working. They're not creating that engagement. They're not creating those calls to action. And so we speak a lot about how to create engagement. And then from there, again, talking about how to design your posts. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Many dentists are posting on their Facebook page every single day, or maybe once a week, right? And then they're doing something, they're boosting. So at the bottom of their Facebook post, they actually have that blue box that says boost. And they're clicking that and they're actually paying for an ad and they think, okay, I'm doing something great. I'm creating a Facebook ad. And what they're doing is they're selecting that first box. And what they're doing is paying for an ad for it to be seen by their current Facebook fans. That's the first option. Never, ever, ever do that. That does not make any sense. If people are already following your page, they already know about your culture. The whole purpose of Facebook marketing, really for me and what my students, is to get new patients. And so that does not make any sense. And so I always teach dentists that before you start even running a boost on your page, you have to create audiences of people that you would want to see that particular post based on the content of that post. So for example, if you're creating a post about a campaign for teeth whitening or a post about teeth whitening, you want to make sure that that's being seen by women who are perhaps being engaged, a certain age. You can also look at different audiences as well. Friends of your Facebook fans who are not following your page, friends of your existing patients. There are lots of ways that you can create these audiences. But once you start boosting posts, you want to make sure that it's being seen by that exact audience, not by anybody who's already a current fan of your page.
Very, very good information. I think I try, whenever I hear stories like that, I try to think and internalize it in my own, from me being from the perspective of a patient, not being the provider. And, you're talking about the demographics. I'm in my early 30s, and I find it very surprising that being in my early 30s that I don't receive very many, so I follow a lot of Facebook pages as well because of the fact that I'm in the dental industry. And I find it very surprising that I don't see ads about braces for adults, because I'm a young professional, and I personally have some movement in my mouth. I had braces when I was a teenager, and I just never wore my retainer after like 2 years afterwards. So I've got a lot of movement, and I could probably have Invisalign or even some braces at this point. And I find it surprising that no one talks about the process of getting me in to try and have me become a patient of theirs, because I know that there's a lot of people out there just like myself that can, number one, afford a procedure like that, but don't have really an incentive or any. I have a general curiosity about it, but I haven't seen anything on, for example, my Facebook page to talk about like a success story of a young professional that's had Invisalign or something like that go into their practice. So how do you know like what to be able to put out there to be able to attract those people? Does your course give people templates and ideas and ways to be able to see how to be able to come in and do those things? I know you said not to use stock images, but do you have like success stories of like this ad did well, this ad did better, this ad did amazing?
Right, absolutely. So what we do in the course is we take you through the process. We show you how to actually design the ads, how to use images, like I said, how to put in your ad copy, create the calls to action, but it really has to be something that's happening inside of your practice. And so, for example, if you're giving, money to charity and you have a charity that you give to every month, that's a great ad. And as a result of it, you want to make sure that people are seeing that. And so you say, okay, who do I want to see that? Do I want everyone to see that? Do I want a certain age to see that? Do I want people who follow another business's page to see that? And, that's how you can really get your message into your ideal audience. And we're going to talk about that because that's really cool when you are able to target other Facebook pages. And I've had some tremendous success with that. And people don't understand how you can do that. So I'm actually going to share that tip here in this particular episode. But that's really, really amazing when you can do that. But what I always say is there are 3 types of campaigns that you want to be running for Facebook. And all of them have to use these audiences, right? These custom audiences. One is just promoting your posts on your page. And these are not long-term campaigns. These are just posts that you're putting, from time to time or daily. And you don't want to create an ad around every single thing that you're putting on your page. That can get quite expensive, right? Mm-hmm. But there are certain things that you're posting that you think, okay, I really want older people to see this, so perhaps you're putting something out about dentures, and so you're going to run that boost to actually go to people who are certain age range, who may be denture wearers. You're not going to want to have to pay for that to be seen by people who are 40 or 30 or 20 years old. That really doesn't make that much sense. So you want to be very strategic, create those audiences. And in my course, I actually have dentists, before we even run ads, like I said, we create all of our audiences because that really doesn't take very much time. I mean, once you understand the process, it takes like 20 minutes to set them up. And once you have them, you can use them over and over and over again. It's super simple. And then what you do then is you say, okay, here's a post that I like. I'm going to go ahead and boost it. And at the bottom selection is for you to drop down and choose which audience you're going to use for that particular post. And so from now on, you're no longer wasting money. You're getting your message out into your ideal audience. So that's the first campaign that you want to do, is just boosting your post to the perfect audience who will come in and actually take action on that particular post. Now, the other thing that's really important is for you to look at creating posts that send people to your website. And there is a particular campaign type, which is a clicks to website campaign. And I use this all the time. And so what this means is this is not a post that's seen on your Facebook page. This is an ad campaign that's running in the news feeds of your different audiences that you've selected to see that particular ad. And so I have right now 3 different campaigns that are running through the clicks to websites. One is for teeth whitening. And so we actually did some split testing, and I went through this particular example in the course so you can see exactly step by step how I did it. I selected 2 different ads. One was of a stock image and one was of an image in my practice. And we actually tested both ads. We tested it with 5 different audiences. One audience was of people who have visited our website in the past. So we use the Facebook pixel. And in the course, I teach you exactly how to put the Facebook pixel on your website. So we had a website traffic audience, people that have visited our website. We also put that promotion out to people who were friends of our Facebook fans, friends of our, a lookalike audience of our patients. We also put it out to an audience that we found of a Facebook page that our current patients or our current Facebook fans actually follow that business. And so we tested it with 5 different audiences. And what we found is that there was 3 particular ones that were performing the most. And those are the ones that we use for our long-term ad campaigns. And all of them had the custom image. So that was really cool. So we used those. And what we did was we have this campaign and people go to the ad, or they see the ad in the news feeds, those particular audiences, and then they click on a link that takes them to your website. From there, they can actually take you up on an offer. They can sign up for your email list, and you can give them a promotion to come in. So the benefit there is that they're going to your website so they can find out more about your practice. They're getting a promotion so that they can come in. And so for teeth whitening, we have a teeth whitening promotion that they get a percentage off. We also have something for crown and bridge and for cosmetic flexible dentures. So those are the 3 campaigns that we have running. But I can tell you, just that one strategy, we have spent on that teeth whitening campaign $150. And since it's been running, which is just a few weeks now, we've actually had 20 people to sign up for it. So that's a 20 times return on investment for that particular ad. So, I mean, it was really cool. But our teeth whitening promotion is actually $150. So that's why it was that 20X. But I mean, that's quite amazing. And I mean, to spend $150 and get 20 people coming in for teeth whitening is huge. It's really, really huge. And so this course actually teaches you, how to create those engaging ads, how to split test your ads to determine which one is working. And once you know which one is working, again, you're using those audiences over and over again. So you don't have to do it over and over again. You just create the campaign, and it literally takes 10 minutes once you understand how to do it, and they can run indefinitely. So that's really cool. So we teach people how to do that. That's the second type, which is the clicks to websites.
And something that's another benefit of doing that that I'm sure but a lot of people probably don't think about is the fact that if you start running a campaign, you find one that's successful, and you see that, for example, this teeth whitening, that you're having a good job, you're doing a good job of attracting this certain demographic of people to come in and have this whitening done, is that it tells you who your audience is for that product. So whenever someone else comes in, you already know how to communicate the benefits of that procedure or process to that patient. As long as your team's involved with the pulling in of those other patients, you're going to be able to spread that out and expound that even farther than just the people that are seeing the Facebook ads.
Absolutely. And another thing that I teach dentists is really, how to grow their audience, how to create engagement. And right now, I know you know this, Jonathan, live video is really huge. And Facebook has Facebook Live now, and it is amazing. Like, your posts are getting seen at the top of people's news feeds, and it's happening organically. Like, you're not having to pay for ads. Mm-hmm. However, there's a big tip here that I'm seeing with my particular ads that I'm running. I'm running ads for my Facebook Live and for my video views, and I'm getting like 3 cents for my ad per engagement, per video view. And I mean, that's crazy. And in your video, you can talk about, why people should replace their missing teeth, or you can talk about any service. And people love video. They really see your passion and they engage with you. And so to me, the third campaign that everyone needs to be running is a video views campaign. And Facebook has just put it out like a week or so ago that they really want people to use this particular objective. Mm-hmm. And so as a result of it, they're luring people in with this really low ad cost. And so you're able to really, I mean, it's crazy the amount of engagement and new patients that we're getting just putting up those live videos. And so if you haven't started doing Facebook Live, that's something that you want to start doing immediately. And again, start looking at also creating video view campaigns to go ahead and promote that as well. And like I said, we teach all of that inside of the course of exactly how to do it.
See, that was going to be my next question, is like all this, there's so many things that you can do and do it well, that if you don't have a process of getting from A to Z, then you could really find yourself lost in all of the different options of what to do. And I find that a lot of information that's out there on this stuff about Facebook is really geared towards people selling things on the internet. It's mm-hmm. not really geared towards service companies. So for example, dental practices, they're not selling a product. I mean, you could say that they're selling a product of, healthy teeth or healthy, oral wellness. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of those Facebook ads or Facebook how-tos and guides and everything like that, number one, they typically only cover like one thing. And number two, they're not really geared towards a service company. Have you found that a lot of the information out there is like that?
Absolutely. And, it's really interesting because there are some articles that you'll read that say that, having likes for your Facebook page or having an audience for your Facebook page is not that important. And I can say this, for online marketers, it's not really that important. And so their sales funnel of how they actually acquire a new customer, if you're an online marketer, for example, is people have a Facebook ad and it leads them to perhaps a page on their website where people can pick up a lead magnet or an offer. They get their email address and they continue to market to them. And so they really have a Facebook page just to be able to run Facebook ads. They're not really that concerned with having engagement on their Facebook page. It's all about just converting them, getting them into their email list so that they can start to provide value there. And then from there, people will connect with them and they will, go ahead and perhaps purchase their product. Excuse me, sorry. But for a dental practice, the funnel is very different. So what happens in a dental practice is, of course, we're talking about people here. We're talking about how they can connect emotionally with your practice. Sorry, I'm gonna get a cup.
You're good.
Sorry. So what happens in a dental practice is that people have to connect emotionally. And so getting people to actually get to your Facebook page is very, very important. And so this is the funnel of a dental practice with Facebook marketing. So what happens is that people see a Facebook ad or people see a post that was perhaps shared by one of their friends, and then they like the post. And then from there, they either like your page, or once they're liking your post, you can actually go in there and invite them to like your page. That's another tip to grow your audience. But people like your page, and then they start to see what you're putting out there. And so they see the post about your practice, your culture, your story, what's going on, all of the amazing dentistry that you're doing, and they start to like you. And they see the testimonials and they start to trust you. And then they go to your website and they see photos of your team and they read their bios, and then they connect even more. And then they say, you know what? This practice is the right practice for me. And then they come into the practice and then they leave and they do a testimonial and then they talk about it on Facebook. That is really the funnel of what happens in dental practices. And so really it's, again, all about getting people to your page. Growing your audience really, really does matter for a dental practice, because that's how you get people to connect with you. And it's totally different than the online space. And so people who are teaching Facebook strategy that don't understand the dental practice and how it works, they may not really get the full scope of how you have to create that engagement and how you have to really connect with people. Using Facebook Messenger is a huge tool in my practice as well. And we've actually scripted, and we show you how to do that in the course as well. You can actually get a copy of all of my actual scripts that I use for Facebook Messenger. But we actually created scripts. And so somebody will send a message and ask, how much is a crown? Or can you tell me about a crown? And we have a script that we just click on in 2 seconds. It responds with their name. It talks about a crown, the cost. We link in a YouTube video so that they can see what the process is about. And that creates a lot of new patients as well, really being very responsive. And this is something, actually, let me tell you this. I don't do any of this in my practice. Okay. So even though I teach Facebook strategy and I am a constant student of Facebook so that I can be better for my students, I actually don't do any of this in my practice. It's done by my team. And the thing is, once you take the time and set up those audiences that I spoke about before, that really takes you, when you do the course, you'll see it takes about 10 minutes to set them up. And then you create your different ads and you test them, and that takes about 10 minutes, and then you go back and assess them. This stuff is on autopilot, and your team can definitely do this. I have lots of team members that I actually do in the course, not the doctors, which is great. We have support in there. We have a private Facebook group where people are able to ask questions, and I'm there answering them. I really want people to be super successful, but Facebook doesn't have to be difficult. It's really very simple once you understand what creates engagement and what works for a dental practice.
So is this something that, there's a lot of people to pay a lot of money to companies to manage their Facebook page for them. Is this process something that you feel in today's environment of what's working in Facebook pages that can be outsourced, that can be done by an outside party outside of the walls of your practice?
Right. So I'm going to speak to that. One is about agencies. Okay. So some people hire agencies, whether it's a dental company or a non-dental company, to run their Facebook campaigns and, really to take over Facebook for them. And it's really because the doctor says, okay, I know Facebook is important, but I really just don't have time to do it myself. So I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to hire somebody to do it. Now, the problem with that is that they're not in your practice. They don't have a feel of your culture. And so they're having to ask you to send them pictures for them to post, which can be done in 2 minutes by your team. And in terms of the long-term campaigns, like I said, it takes really 10 minutes to set up your different audiences. It doesn't take very long. And when you're creating an ad for your campaigns, it doesn't take very long as well. I mean, it's really literally 10 minutes to do so. So this is something that can be done. And if you're outsourcing it, you're just not going to get that same result because you're not going to get that engagement. Yes, it's better than doing nothing, but I really feel that your team should understand how to do it if you're not going to do it, which is completely fine. You can be focusing on the dentistry, but I feel that once you understand and learn how, you really don't have to spend thousands of dollars really having this outsourced to an agency. And I just think it's a waste of money. You can put that money actually into the ads so that you can get the ROI and get in those new patients. I really, truly believe in that. And the other thing is there are some social media companies that put out daily content. And I think that those are a good supplement to understanding strategy. They don't teach strategy. They give you information of what you can post. So you get like an email and they'll say, okay, here's an idea of what you can post. But again, those things are stock. Now, some of them do have tools that they give you, such as the social signs, and they have the promotions that you can run, and they give you the tools for that. And I think those are really great because those help you with sharing your culture. And I have a lot of students who are also customers of those companies, and I think it's completely fine. And like I said, it's a great supplement. However, it takes more than just posting on your Facebook page. And that's the point of this podcast. If you really want to turn Facebook into a marketing strategy and not just a strategy to share your story, if you want to really multiply your new patient numbers, if you want to get the lowest ad costs for your ad campaigns, there's a right way to do it. And that's what, like I said, this podcast is all about, which you're not going to get from those companies that are giving content, because content is really just what you're posting daily on your particular page.
Sure. To tie that in with some personal experience, whenever we started this company, we were outsourced CFOs, and we would serve up these suggestions for increasing profitability in dental practices whenever we started. And we found that 90% of the time, if we served something up to the practice owner without them understanding how to get to that point, having them have some type of ownership in that process, having some type of ownership in the plan to implement and move forward, it wasn't 5% as effective if they didn't understand it. I mean, they had, if we didn't let them be fully a part of that process, then the results were so small compared to whenever they were a part of it. And so I can really see why people hire the outsourced services for Facebook content marketing creation, having the signs, things like that. And it allows them to limp along. But I have a feeling that's a lot of where this idea of, Facebook, social media doesn't work or something like that, right? A thing I was just talking to my wife about the other day is she's a part of one of these groups where they buy and sell stuff in our local community. And it's gotten to the point where there's almost no need for companies like eBay or Craigslist now, because she can be able to be a part of this community that buys and sells stuff online. And it made me start thinking about the future of Facebook, and specifically that Facebook is creating these little ways into our lives to try and make Facebook as sticky as possible so that they don't become the next Yahoo, the next online company that was super successful and profitable, but they forgot about engaging with their client base, and so, or user base for Facebook. So I believe that this social media profile, this being a part of this Facebook world is going to be even more important in the next 5 to 10 years. And if you get started now with building this brand, you're going to be so far ahead of the curve. I talk to a lot of people. I talk a lot about on this podcast about being an early adopter into technology, into marketing channels, because those early adopters are the people that have a lot of success. For example, Google AdWords. If you were using Google AdWords in the early 2000s, you were making more money than anybody because you'd figured out that, and you didn't have to even be that good at it. It was just that you were the only one doing it. I feel like Facebook ads, but nowadays it's very competitive with Google ads. I feel like with this world, if you get successful early on in this marketing channel, you aren't going to be able to be touched as far as competition wise 10 years down the road, unless there's some, because I don't think Facebook is going to allow money to dictate that success down the road. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can tell you, when I started Facebook, it was in 2010. And at that time, all of my posts were being seen, and my audience really grew a lot over that time. And I was an early adopter, and so as a result of it, I have a ton of people who are following my page, which means that my ad costs are lower. And so what I teach dentists now is that you have another opportunity. Right now is a very dynamic time with Facebook. And Facebook, by the way, you may or may not know, is the #1 ads platform for businesses in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But right now, people have an amazing opportunity with Facebook Live. And all of their posts, all of their Facebook Live streams are being seen without you having to pay for them. And that is huge. And the reason why is that Facebook is really wanting users to really embrace this, of course. And once they start to embrace it, then the businesses will obviously at some point have to pay a little bit more, for them to be seen. But right now is that window to jump in. And like I said, if you're creating video views campaigns to actually put, $5 on it or $10 on it, you're going to multiply the people that actually see it. And even more so if you're having that video be seen by specific audiences. And so that's really the strategy that to me is so important, not just doing the Facebook Live, or not just putting an ad around it or putting money on it and boosting it. It's also getting it into the news feeds of people who would connect with that message that you're saying in that particular video. And so right now is a huge time, to jump into Facebook.
Absolutely. And it's only, and getting in whenever the engagement is high is going to make your success so much quicker and so much harder to touch down the road. I mean, if you think about, the fact they're doing this Facebook Live, and this is what the beauty of Facebook is that, there was all these things that came out maybe 6 or 12 months ago, like Blab, Periscope, Snapchat, all these things that have this video component to it. And Facebook's just like, oh, these guys are having success. Well, we're just going to do something live as well. And all of a sudden, that's all everybody uses now. Like all these other little companies that sprung up are Facebook's eating their lunch because they have this access to users that no one else has, and they can create this content from things like dental practices that they create the content, they go live, and they can be served up to the people that appreciate them, which means that they're connected to it, they're going to engage with it, they appreciate the content being posted, which means that those users are going to stay members of Facebook longer, and guess what? They're going to reward the people that are doing that for them.
You've got it. That's absolutely right. And, Twitter has Periscope. And, when Facebook Live came out, I have quite a few friends who are big, online marketers, and they were really a lot on Twitter, with Periscope. And all of a sudden now they've switched to Facebook Live because they realize that, once you do the video, it's not disappearing like Snapchat or, Periscope. It's there. It's in your news feed. And then again, you can actually put it out and serve that particular video to your custom audiences, and it gets really targeted. So the reach expands even more so after the video is complete. And now there's actually a place in Facebook ads manager where you can go and create an ad or create an audience of people that have watched a certain length of your video. So you can get even more detailed. And so if people watch, for example, 10 seconds or 30 seconds, then you can say, okay, these people are going to be more likely to engage. So you want to make sure that you're now putting other ads out to that particular audience because they're warm, and again, it's just really getting people back into that funnel of getting them to connect with your practice, connect with your message. I mean, I've done Facebook Lives where I've gone and done a tour of my office and show what's different and unique. And I've done one of why we decide to wow all of our patients. And we talk about, again, different procedures, and people can ask questions. And then we say after, please message us if you have, leave a message here or private message us if you have any questions. And people send a ton of questions. And then as a result of it, again, they become new patients. I mean, to me, Facebook is huge. And every single day, every day, I have patients come in and I'm like, how did you hear about us? And I know that they're going to say Facebook, and they're like, Facebook. I'm like, okay, great. And they're like, we've been following you and, we just love what you're doing. And those patients are really easy when you present a treatment plan. They're ready to accept treatment. They already trust you. They know all about you and they believe in you. And it's really easy to get them to accept treatment when they come in through this method.
I love it. So you walked us through a little bit about what the course entails, and you said that. Well, can you give us the 2-minute synopsis of what you should expect out of the course?
Right, absolutely. So this Facebook course is for beginners, intermediate, and advanced users for Facebook. And again, the course can be done by the doctor and or their team. It's obviously better if the doctor does it, and that way they'll be able to better delegate what they expect to their team. But what happens is that we show you exactly how to set up your page the right way. We show you how to create a custom image for your Facebook cover image. We show you how to grow your audience. We show you how to create engaging posts. I actually teach copywriting in the course as well, and how to create calls to action. So there's some other marketing stuff that goes in there. We give you lots of free guides and tips to help you along the way. And then from there, we give you tips of how to grow your audience. And there's a lot of little tips and strategies that you can use to grow your audience. So we teach you that as well, because growing your audience is very important. It matters. And then from there, we start creating those different audiences, and we dig into Facebook insights so that you can look at, your current followers of your Facebook page and see what other pages that they're following. And then you can create an audience of those pages. And those have been actually one of our most engaging audiences are those other business pages. That's very interesting. After testing, I was really shocked. That whitening campaign that we spoke about earlier, the one that converted best, was of a paid Facebook page, a group of people who are following another Facebook page of a business in my area. So that was really interesting. But we teach you how to create those audiences, and then we show you how to actually design your ads. Again, 2 versions of an ad, and that way you can sort of split test. And we also take you through testing with your different audiences. And like I said, it sounds like a lot, but each video is really like 5 to 10 minutes for each different topic. So it's really easy to get through, easy for your team to get through. And at the end of it, what happens is you have all of your audiences set up. You know which audiences are going to convert. You have your ads. And so you're on autopilot. And so from there, you don't have to do anything going forward except just boost or put your posts on your page or your cultural posts daily, and just boost them to your audience, when you decide to do so. And it's really simple. So once you go through, it takes, honestly, you could go through the course in a day, the entire course. There's 7 modules. So I actually recommend that dentists just sort of take 1 module a day. That's the better way to do it. So it takes about a week to get through all of the modules, but it's really like a boot camp. You'll get through it really quickly. And, the dentists that have completed the course now are saying, oh my gosh, I'm fast tracking my success, and they're excited about their audiences, and they're seeing really amazing results.
Very cool. Very cool. So what about as far as, you have a really active Facebook group with
Right.
your podcast. So if, someone joins your course, would they also join that Facebook group? Because what we just talked about is there are changes that occur in the Facebook world over time. Is this going to be a course that's going to be updated over time, or is it going to be, have, part 2.0, or is it going to have, additional updates and things like that?
Well, I can tell you, Facebook is changing every single day, and it actually changed while I was creating the course.
Oh man.
So they changed their whole, how things are visible in Power Editor. I teach dentists to use Power Editor to actually duplicate their ads. And so the great thing about the course is that there will always be updates to the course, and that's included in the cost of the course. It's really important that the course is always current. And we do have the Delivering While Hangout, which is the free Facebook group for the podcast. However, for this particular course, we actually have a private Facebook group. And so all of the members who have taken the course are inside of that group. I'm in there every single day. So if people have any questions, they get stuck, they can go ahead and post it in there, and I'm helping them. Other dentists are giving each other feedback. So it's really, really cool. There are things that are happening. So there was a new update that just happened with leads ads. And so prior to this, I have not been using them because you weren't able to actually have those leads go directly to your email service provider. But there've been some changes just this week with lead ads. And so I'm going to start testing that versus running to lead pages for my clicks to websites. And so I actually posted in the group as well, I'm going to be testing this, guys. And once I get the results, I'll post them in here immediately, and I will update the course as well to include that strategy. So there'll always be changes, which I think is really great. The course is very reasonable. It's a one-time. You don't have to pay for ongoing support. So it's really, it's to me, it's all about, serving dentists, and it really gives me a lot of thrill to hear all of their stories of their success. I'm still practicing dentistry, and this Facebook thing is a passion project of mine. It was actually one of the students of the course, who was a dentist who was following me in my podcast, that actually asked me to create this course. And he's like, you're doing all of these amazing things. You're getting 40 to 50 new patients a month from Facebook. You need to teach us. You need to create a course, And so I said, okay, fine. I listened to him. And like I said, I'm a constant student. So I'm in a few masterminds with top Facebook strategists around the world. And so if anything happens new, I'm on it, and I want to make sure that the dental industry is always first to know. So my students will always know what's going on and what's current.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. So it is sincerely not just the course. It is, you're getting an education from a real life dentist that uses this every day in her practice, that's been doing it since 2010. So 6 years of experience, basically, of what works, what doesn't work, what a change looks like in Facebook, to being a part of a community where you can ask questions and have support from other dental practices, not just some consultant that charges a lot of money for it, which I'm sure you could actually do if you wanted to. And honestly, guys, I know how much she charges for the course, and I haven't told Dr. Holmes this, but I think she should probably be charging 3 or 4 times what she's charging for it. I think she's basically giving it away at the cost that she's giving it to. I know consultants that charge twice as much per month for for this access to this course that's a one-time fee. So it's very, very, it's priced very, very well, and you guys are going to be able to actually get that with a special offer to our audience. We've actually teamed up, and if you actually go to deliveringwowcourse.com/metrics, is that right?
Right. It's actually deliveringwell.com.
Okay. Deliveringwell. Okay. So
deliveringwell.com/metrics.
METRICS.
Right.
If you go there, you're actually going to be able to get a better price than the typical advertised rate. Something we've teamed up to be able to do. Just full disclosure, I do have I get a bit of a commission, and what I said is like, hey, just take away my commission and give it to my listeners as a way for you guys to be, because I want you guys to implement and have action and have success with these things. This is a perfect course for someone who has no experience with Facebook. It's a perfect course for someone who is a new dental practice owner or is about to be a dental practice owner and wants to really understand what makes a successful social marketing campaign. It's really for everyone. Like you said, it's for advanced users, it's for beginners. And I commend you. It's a fantastic course. I have clients of mine that have actually already taken the course that have already given me testimonials to say, hey, you've got to get Dr. Holmes on. This is a great course. It's really working. It's actually making changes occur, which is something in the dental industry, you don't really know if it's working or not. So I have clients that have told me that it works. I know Dr. Holmes. If you want to see somebody that can go out and hustle and work and test things out and make things happen, Dr. Holmes is the person. So I completely give my A+ tax stamp of approval to this course for you guys to go out and check it out. So today's bonus is actually going to be a blueprint for success from Facebook that Dr. Holmes has created. If you want that, you can just text the word practice to 33444. That's practice to 33444. Or you can go to startyourdentalpractice.com/bonus if you're outside of the US, and you'll get a copy of that free blueprint. You'll also get a link to that to the website to where you can come in and get that for the discounted rate if you'd like. So you can either go directly to deliveringwow.com/metrics, METRICS, or if you sign up for today's bonus, then you'll be able to get a copy of that link in your email as well. So Dr. Holmes, is there anything that you want to leave us with that we didn't have a chance to cover today?
Right. So, I mean, the main thing is just to, go ahead and start Facebook. If you're not using Facebook, don't use stock images. Go ahead and share your culture. To me, that's the secret to success.
Fantastic. So guys, I urge you to listen to the Delivering Well podcast. She has some fantastic content on there, as well as fantastic interviews. Dr. Holmes is a much bubblier and nicer voice to listen to than mine, I'm sure. So guys, go check her out. And thank you again so much for coming on, Dr. Holmes.
Thanks for having me, Jonathan.
A special thanks to Dr. Holmes for sharing her valuable time and expertise with the ambitious dentist community. As you heard, she's been extremely efficient and successful with her Facebook marketing. So as a bonus for today, you can take it a step further and download Dr. Holmes' Facebook Success Blueprint. So to get that bonus, simply text practice to 33444. Again, that's practice to 33444, or visit startyourdentalpractice.com/bonus if you're outside of the US. Now you'll also get in that email with the Facebook Success Blueprint a link to an area where you can sign up for Dr. Holmes' Facebook course at a discounted price that is cheaper than I found anywhere else on the internet. As I said in the interview, Dr. Holmes offers a commission for partnering, for me sending her people to be able to purchase the course. I said to her, you don't have to give me that. Give that discount straight to the people in my audience, because I want them to be able to take action, and I don't want price to be the reason they can't take that action. So again, to get that bonus, simply text practice to 33444. You'll also receive updates on the latest episodes of Start Your Dental Practice, helpful tips for owning and running a practice, and promotional opportunities direct to your inbox. So that's it for today's episode, but that doesn't mean that the learning and implementation have to stop there. I've created a free report called The 15 Numbers That Will Make or Break Your Dental Practice. This report has been downloaded over 1,000 times by dental professionals. So if you want your free copy of this report that's going to outline what the most important numbers are in any dental practice, and it also includes how to look at your numbers, how to set goals, has a whole slew of really important information that is the culmination of all of my experience as a dental CPA, then just go to startyourdentalpractice.com/free gift. That is startyourdentalpractice.com/free gift. And so that's it for today, Ambitious Dentist. Again, I'm Jonathan Van Horn, CPA and ABV. I'll see you next week with another world-class practice owner or consultant that will help you start your very own dental practice. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Start Your Dental Practice community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do me a favor and go to startyourdentalpractice.com/iTunes to leave your honest feedback and review on iTunes. It's going to help me create a better experience, a better show, a better podcast for you, the ambitious dentist. Your feedback really does help, regardless if you like the show today or not. If you didn't like the show, let me know. because it's going to help me create a better show and podcast for you. Lastly, if you know of anybody that would benefit from today's episode and today's content, today's guest, please feel free to share with them on social media or through email.